Hi, if you like the video, please remember to subscribe.
Hi, my name's Rob from robandphoto.com, and in today's video I'm going to be looking at and sort of reviewing three different webcams to kind of give you a little bit of help and advice if you're thinking about recording videos for YouTube like this, or maybe they're for Vimeo, or for, I don't know, work use, home use, whatever. Maybe you're recording a video podcast, all this sort of stuff, because it can be really confusing about what sort of camera to buy, or to use the free one that comes with your laptop. Well, which one's going to give you the best results? Which ones are the easiest to use? And I guess, the ones that kind of I would recommend. And it can be quite difficult as well when you're looking at reviews on YouTube, because often you're looking at them on really small videos, or when you blow them up to full screen. Often, because of the compression involved, they can look not great, so it can be difficult to kind of choose between the different types. Now, I've gone through this exactly the same process over the last few months, and I don't know, I think I probably got quite a good conclusion about what I would use the most, and what I would like to use all the time, but isn't always practical, or I can't. So I'm recording this segment of the video using the built-in webcam on my laptop, and so it's an Acer Aspire E1571, and it calls itself a HD webcam. I'm not dead sure whether it is, because it can be a little bit fuzzy when you go between the different settings. There doesn't seem to be that much difference, but I should be recording at 1080p now, so HD. I'm inside, obviously, in this room. What you can't see, sort of to my right and sort of camera left, what I use is I have a big halogen lamp. It's just a halogen house lamp, and I put a white diffusion sort of shoot-through umbrella to kind of soften the light a little bit, because otherwise this webcam software, it would be incredibly noisy, and it wouldn't look very nice at all. So I guess the first tip is that no matter what camera you end up using, always try and introduce some light into the equation as well, because it will make it look so much better. Preferably not a really hard light, like just a lamp by itself. I mean, anything is better than nothing, but if you can bounce that light off the ceiling, or if, like me, you're a photographer, and so you might have some shoot-through umbrellas, just put it through there. It just needs to lift it a little bit. It doesn't need to be super bright, but just lift it a little bit, just to get rid of some of those shadows and get rid of a lot of that noise. Okay, so the camera, let me take a step back a bit. So I used to record my videos for YouTube and sort of podcasts and things using just little point-and-shoot cameras like the Fujifilm S5700, or a Canon PowerShot as well. I used for quite a lot of them. And all that it was okay. The quality wasn't brilliant, and it was also quite inconvenient. In fact, that I'd have to record a video on that camera, transfer it to the laptop, and then render it down and edit it suitable for uploading to YouTube. And I was also using a very old laptop as well, so everything used to take forever, and my laptop used to overheat and turn itself off, so I'd have to start again, and it was always a bit of a pain. So when I got the opportunity to get a new laptop just before Christmas 2013, I thought, oh brilliant, all my prayers are answered, because I'll have a built-in camera on the laptop. I'll just be able to record straight from that onto the computer, do the editing as well, but it'll already be there, and load it. Which is what I'm doing now with this one. However, I was pretty disappointed with the quality that came out of the built-in camera on the Acer Aspire E1571, and it's probably common to most webcams as well. It just wasn't that good. It wasn't the quality I was looking for. It wasn't really any better than I had been doing. And also, unless I use something like this light I've got on now, I would get terrible color casts, and everything would look very good. So you'd say, well, you're a photographer, why didn't you use the video capabilities of your camera? Well, at the time, the camera I had was a Canon EOS 350D or Rebel XT, which couldn't take video. But at Christmas, I was lucky enough to get a Canon EOS 600D, or the Rebel T3i, and that does video as well. And so the second sort of video you'll see in a minute is one where I'll take it with the 600D to give you an idea of the change in quality. And that was, I mean, that is, of all of the three, that is the best quality, but it's also the trickiest to use. And then I also, just after, I think it was in January, Amazon were doing lots of lightning deals, and I got a deal on, he said, looking for it, this webcam, which is the Logitech C920 Webcam, which is a HD webcam with a proper glass lens in it. It has proper autofocus in it. It's meant to be very, very good, and it is very, very good. And I got it half price. It was about £44. And so I snapped it up, and that's what I've been using an awful lot as well. But I had to go through lots of jump through lots of hoops to get it to work in the way that I wanted it to. So as you can guess, sort of the option we're looking at now, the built-in webcam for my laptop, I don't like it at all. It's okay in an emergency, and it's okay for some videos, and for things like this where I've lit it properly, it's probably okay. But I think because I wanted to make my videos look a little bit more higher quality, what didn't really do it for me. And I would say that, I mean, if you're happy with this quality that you can see now, test it on your software that you have on your laptop, and if you're happy with it, fantastic. But I think when you see the next two video sources, you're going to go, all right, yeah, that's much, much better. So I would say your built-in webcam, it's okay in a pinch, and if it's all you've got, then use it, but make sure you add light to the situation to get a better looking shot. But try something else. So what we'll look at next is we'll look at recording video using my Canon EOS 600D dSLR, and you'll see the difference.
Okay, so now I'm recording using my Canon EOS 600D dSLR, which is a fantastic entry-level Canon DSLR. So it's a one of those cameras where you can change the lens. It's funny, I normally would have it in my hand so I could take it apart and show, but you know the one, the Canon DSLRs. I'm shooting at 1080p, and almost immediately you should be able to see that the image quality is much, much better, and the audio quality is much, much better as well, even though I'm using the inbuilt microphone on the camera. So overall it's a much better look. The audio quality is better. I could do some crazy things with it. We can have a really small depth of field so that you could only just see me and the background would be out of focus. I could add an external mic, so I could have a mic on here, because I think it's got a mic input somewhere, or I could record the audio separately. I can do custom white balances as well, so you get the colours spot on. Now, at the moment, I've just put it on, I think I put it on tungsten, because that kind of should hopefully match the halogen light that's coming down. I mean, looking at the LCD screen, it looks, the colours look okay. The Wii behind me looks fairly white, so those bananas look yellowish, so that's all right. And the beauty of the 600D as well is it does have a flip out screen, so the screen on the back flips out, and so I can actually, although I'm looking into the camera now, I can see myself on the little screen and look into it. So fantastic image quality. Audio quality is okay, and for producing things like this, the audio quality could be good. I could record it separately and sort of splice it together, but that does make things a little bit more complicated, doesn't it? So what's the downside to using a camera like the 600D? Well, if you haven't got one already, they're quite expensive to buy straight away. They're also, the 600D, for example, doesn't do autofocus while you're doing video. I don't think it does it at all when you so you can autofocus at the beginning. Actually, no, I think you can get it to autofocus, but it doesn't work very well. The autofocus system in live view, which we're in now recording stuff, works very, very slow. So you're mostly going to be doing manual focusing, which isn't, if I'm doing a video like this, it's no good, is it? Because if I've got something in my hand that I want to show you and it goes quicker closer to the camera won't autofocus on it. So that can be a bit of an issue. If you move around a lot, the camera's not going to follow you. Also, the lenses are quite noisy when they're moving, so you get zzz noises, and you can also get the image stabilization cutting in and out. If you're shooting at 1080p, the file sizes are absolutely massive as well. They're huge files, and so you need big SD cards. Also, they take quite a while to process on your laptop, and obviously upload as well, because you end up with these massive file sizes. Now that really isn't really a problem for me, because I've got my new laptop. It's an i5, so it's fairly fast. It's a couple of orders of magnitude faster than my old laptop, and so it doesn't have any trouble rendering stuff. But big file sizes can be a problem if you're on a slower internet connection when you're uploading. Again, we've got Virgin broadband, which is optical cable, which is super fast anyway, so again, that isn't a problem. Also, the camera has a limit of file size. I think a couple of pigeons are having a fight in the garden. An upper limit of file size. Now I'm probably wrong on this bit. I think it's 4 GB. I'm not sure, but again, you'd have to check the manual. Which what means is when it reaches that limit, it stops recording. Also, you could also have the problem of the sensor overheating, and then the camera would stop recording as well that way. So for ultimate image quality, a DSLR, whether it be a Canon one or a Nikon one, a Sony or anything like that, it will give you amazing image quality. Give you the best quality image quality. You can get the best colours, you get the best definition. But it is a lot more inconvenient to use and set up, because you've got to set up on a tripod, make sure it's really, really steady. You've got to make sure all your lines are nice and straight. You've got to get your white balance correct. The audio can sometimes be a problem, and you have these massive file sizes that it creates, and you don't have that autofocus either. So if I was a full-time podcaster, video maker, YouTuber, publisher sort of thing, I would probably use something like the 600D. I'd probably have 2 of them, I don't know, and I would use them all the time, because you can get broadcast quality video out of these cameras, especially if you use extra light like I've got with at the moment, and then especially if you use extra mics as well. However, reality is I'm a working person. I work 5 or 6 days a week. I don't always have that much time to do my videos, so I need something that's a bit faster to set up, a little bit quicker to work with. And so that's where the next camera we're going to look at, which is the Logitech C920 Webcam, comes in. But even that kind of has a couple of caveats as well. So there we go. So that's the EOS 600D. Best quality for recording shows, complete best quality. But again, it can only record for sort of 10, I think the maximum is 8 to 12 minutes. And it can turn itself off, and obviously you end up with massive file sizes, and it's a little bit fiddly to set up, and you don't have that autofocus. So anyway, you've had a good chance to look at this video. Go backwards and forwards between this and the one at the beginning with the built-in webcam. Now let's have a look at what the Logitech C920 webcam produces in comparison. Okay, so I'm recording now with the Logitech C920. I don't know why I'm showing you the box, because the camera is right there. But what I'll do is, if I put this box behind me, if you're flicking backwards and forwards between the DSLR footage and this footage to compare them, this should help. So when I was kind of struggling with the quality that was coming out of my webcam software, and I couldn't use my 600D DSLR because I wanted to take videos of that. I wanted to have the 600D in my hands so I could show viewers, how it works, hints and tips, reviews, all that sort of stuff. Or even if I was doing lens reviews, anything to do with the camera, I had to have the camera here, so I needed a different camera there. And so I got quite a bit obsessed with looking at lots of different reviews of lots of different webcams on Amazon, on the internet, all over the place. And the sort of the model that kept coming back and again and again, that got great reviews, was the Logitech C920 HD webcam. And so when it went half price on Amazon.co.uk just after Christmas, so I was really excited about it. I thought, yes, fantastic. And it came in, and it came lovely packaging. It's USB. I mean, it really is a daddy webcam. It's even got a tripod mount on the bottom, so you could mount it on a tripod. It's got a proper lens in it, a proper Zeiss lens with proper autofocus. It actually does move. It's not just done electronically. and obviously it comes with the software, you know, that I'm using to record as well, or you could use it with other software. But for the purposes of this video, I wanted to use the Logitech software so I could record at its full native resolution. Well, I think it's its native resolution of sort of 1080p full HD with stereo sound, just so you can have a really good comparison between the webcam, which was first, then there's dSLR footage, which we did second, and now the 920. However, there was problems with the C920. What I found was, and you might even see this on this video, and you'll find about it if you look it up on the web, is that there's problems with lag between the recording of the video and what I'm saying as well. And in fact, if you watch some of my videos, when you get near the end of the videos, if they're long videos and I've recorded them with the C920, you get this lag happening, and it was quite pronounced to start off with. And I thought, oh no, what a pain. You know, I've spent this money. Admittedly, it's not that much. You know, it's 50 quid, but you know, I run on a tight budget. And it kind of, although the image quality was, you know, brilliant, as you can see, it's really nice. You know, if the audio is rubbish on a video, you can put up with quite a lot, but when the audio goes out of sync with the lips, you know, it's not particularly good. However, I did a lot of digging, and I thought, well, wait a minute, you know, it can't be something that's wrong with the camera. You know, it must be something wrong with my setup. But I mean, my laptop's fairly fast. It's an Intel Core i5. It can, you know, flat out with 3.2 gigahertz. It's got 4 gigabytes of RAM. It's got a 750 gigabyte hard drive that's half empty. So maybe it's something. Well, then I thought, well, maybe it is something to do with that. Now, what the C920 does, it does do H.164, is it, or 264? I can't remember. Compression in the hardware inside it. Does it tell you what to do? Yeah, H.264 compression it does, actually, in the hardware, in the camera, which means that it should put a lot less demands on your computer to compress this video and audio as it's coming through. So I thought, right, okay, well, I'm going to start playing around with the settings. And some people had mentioned on the internet when I was searching around that one of the things that you could try was changing the compression settings that you use, but actually making the file size bigger, so in fact you're compressing stuff less. So when I'm recording this video now, I'm doing it at full 1080p, which is the big setting. I'm doing it at the best audio quality that the microphones can record with, which is should be DVD quality. So that should be sounding pretty good as well. And then this was the thing that has kind of solved the problem almost completely, was that I turn off auto everything. Apart from the auto focus, so I turn off the auto levels for the sound, and I also go into the settings and I turn off auto exposure, auto gain, they call it right light, and auto white balance. So everything is set up so what I do is I put everything on auto, because I've got my light here. I go into the settings, so it kind of sorts everything out, gets it as close as it thinks it can. Then I turn off all the auto settings, and the one thing I do adjust is the white balance, because it always seems to get it a bit too cold, get it a little bit too blue, and then I warm it up a little bit. That looks a bit crap like that, doesn't it? Let's just straighten that out. And then you get what you see before you now, which hopefully is a video quality and the audio quality, which is pretty good, which should be good enough for YouTube videos. And I've seen some demo videos on YouTube where people have used the webcam outside where there's lots of bright light doing time captures, and the video quality is absolutely amazing. So, you know, in kind of conclusion then, also it does autofocus as well, which is pretty good. There we go. I'm back in focus. So in conclusion then, so we looked at 3 types of video cameras. We've looked at the inbuilt one on, well, this laptop, which is probably similar to your laptop if you're using a Windows machine. I understand that the webcams on Macs are much better, but hey, I can't run to a Mac. So if we put that to one side, if we say the built-in one's okay in a pinch, but particularly on my machine as well, the audio is really rubbish if you use the built-in microphone.
so you'd have to use a headset with that. The DSLR, you know, the 600D, this is what it looks like. You can actually see it now. There's the 600D on its trusty Gorilla Pod. The video quality is absolutely amazing. Audio quality is pretty good as well. It's okay, but you could make the audio quality much better using different mics. Yeah, it does have a mic in just underneath there, so you could plug in a really nice mic to that, and the audio quality would be even better. So ultimate video quality, ultimate colors, contrast. You can have short, small depth of field. Basically, you could shoot a movie with one of these things. You can create broadcast quality video from something like this. The downsides are it's a little bit tricky to set up because you've got to get all the levels correct. It produces massive file sizes. I mean, absolutely huge file size. The focus can be a problem. In fact, you tend to just use it on manual focus. So when you're doing things like this, you have to have a fixed focus, and if you move backwards and forwards or have different products, they're going to go out of focus. And then it also has a maximum recording time. So after between 8 and 12 minutes, it's going to just, you know, clunk off. And when you're doing a video production, like a film or something, that isn't a matter. But it doesn't really matter. You're doing lots of short clips. But often when I'm recording videos for YouTube like this, it's a bit of a monologue that can go on for 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes sometimes. And the ability to continuously record is great. So best audio and video quality, well, best video quality, but a little bit of hassle. And obviously for me, a lot of the time the videos I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be talking about my DSLR. Can't afford to have a second one, so I need something else. So that brings us to the C920, the Logitech webcam that I'm using right now, which has got great audio quality, great video quality, but it's got this one niggle with the fact that sometimes the sync goes out. And in fact, I've been recording for about 8 minutes now, so let's do a quick test and see if the audio is in sync, and you'll be able to see. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's always the chance that it's my software that's not helping. I do things on a budget, so I use free software. So I use Windows Movie Maker that comes with Windows 8 or 8.1 now. But I'm careful. I don't use fades if I'm using a C920. And I don't know, so so the webcam that I use an awful lot for all my videos where I'm going to be using the camera stuff is the C920, because it looks great, it's easy to use, it's very, very easy to set up. I can just set my laptop up, set my light up, stick it in and record play around with the settings, turn all the automatic stuff off so the camera's not having to work on that, and start recording and record a podcast or video that way. But if I've got the time and the space, then I'll dig out this bad boy if the video doesn't include showing stuff about the 600D, and I'll try and record stuff on the 600D. Examples of videos I've recorded, if you want to look at my YouTube stream, which is, it's that side, isn't it? If you're looking at the video on YouTube, if you look for my other videos, it's the lots of the HTC One Max videos were recorded of the phone itself, were recorded using this as an example. And if you look for the later episodes of the SCL podcast that are on there as well, they're recorded using the C920. And obviously you can flick backwards and forwards between the webcam, the DSLR footage, and the C920 footage as well if you want to compare them as we go along. So there we go. I hope that's been a little bit of help. I've probably muddied the waters a little bit if you were thinking about the Logitech C920 and the fact that it's not a complete solution because we have this problem with the lip syncing. But ultimate quality, go for your DSLR. Convenience, the C920. Okay, that's enough from me. My name's Rob from robnunphoto.com, and thanks for watching.